You know what, Glenn? I'm gonna say something. I probably shouldn't. Do you know right now I have something that can bring you into a building that will clean you from COVID as you walk through this dry mix. As you walk through the door, it will kill any COVID on your body. When you leave, it will kill the virus as you leave this here product. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to hear about that.
I'm Raphael Warnock, and I approve this message.
That's a new campaign ad from Democratic Georgia U.S. Senator Raphael Warnock, showing his Republican Senate opponent pushing a magic mist that can clean you. He says he has this magic mist. He uses the magic mist to turn doorways into 100% cures for COVID. That is the kind of ad you can run when your opponent is Herschel Walker. There's a reason Mr. Walker refused to show up for his primary debates when he was running to become the Republican nominee for Senate in Georgia. I mean, if your candidate accidentally veered into, I have a magic mist cure for COVID right here and no one wants to hear about it, if your guy veered into that territory every time he got behind a microphone, you'd probably try to keep him away from a microphone too. We will see if he agrees to debate Raphael Warnock now that he is the Republican nominee for Senate in Georgia. Herschel Walker really is the Republican Party's nominee for Senate in Georgia, which does seem kind of crazy. Then again, is that any crazier than the candidate Republicans chose for Senate in Pennsylvania? After all, that candidate has also been accused of peddling his share of snake oil cures for various real ailments. Even how he ended up being the Republican candidate for Pennsylvania is still a mystery. The Republican Senate candidate, Mehmet Oz in Pennsylvania, is a man who is from Ohio. He has a home in Florida. He votes in New Jersey. He has no discernible connection to Pennsylvania whatsoever. But alongside Herschel Magic Mist Walker as the Republican Senate candidate in Georgia, the no connection to Pennsylvania guys who Republicans have picked to be their Senate candidate in that state as well. Then again, is Mehmet Oz being the Republican Pennsylvania Senate candidate any crazier than the candidate Republicans chose as their nominee for governor in Pennsylvania? He, after all, is a sword-wielding election denier who has been subpoenaed by the January 6th investigation to talk about, among other things, his role in putting forth a fake slate of Trump electors from Pennsylvania, even though Trump lost Pennsylvania. With each new primary election this year, the Republican Party has made sort of increasingly wild choices for who their nominees are going to be to represent them in November's elections. Well, tomorrow we're going to get more because tomorrow there are primary elections in 7 more states. And if you are looking to see who might be the next guy on the list of this amazing cast of characters Republicans have been nominating this year, you may want to pay particular attention to Montana. Montana Republican congressional contender Ryan Zinke. If that face is familiar to you, if that name sounds familiar to you, it's probably because you remember him from one of his 18 gazillion different scandals during his time as Trump's Interior Secretary. And I mean, when I say 18, it wasn't 18 gazillion, but it really was 18 different federal investigations involving Ryan Zinke during his time as a Trump cabinet member. Like the time he spent $12,000 of taxpayer money so he could fly in an oil executive's private plane, or the time he allegedly spent $139,000 taxpayer dollars on a set of fancy new doors for his office. $140,000 worth of doors? Really? Or the time he overruled federal experts to block a Native American casino project right after he met with lobbyists from a rival casino giant. Or the time he allegedly tried to get an executive from the oil company Halliburton to build Mr. Zinke his own microbrewery at a time when Halliburton had business before the Interior Department. Ryan Zinke this is tough competition. Ryan Zinke, though, was perhaps the most scandal-plagued member of the Trump cabinet, if you just look at scandals sort of by volume in terms of the number of months he served versus the number of formal federal investigations that had to be opened into his conduct. Ryan Zinke really set some records. I mean, him and Scott Pruitt were kind of neck and neck, but Ryan Zinke was really something. And tomorrow, Republicans are going to decide whether or not they're going to make Ryan Zinke the latest in this year's very long string of quite amazing Republican candidates for office.